All right, let's dive in. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible force that drives all music. We're talking about the pulse, the patterns, and the groove that gets you moving. Let's get to it.
I mean, have you ever really thought about that? It feels like magic, doesn't it? But it's not. It's because your brain is an incredible pattern-finding machine, and you're instantly locking on to one of the most basic building blocks of music.
And that building block is called rhythm. You can think of rhythm as the master plan for a song. It's the architecture, the framework that tells every single sound where it's supposed to go.
Let's put it this way. If pitch tells a musician what note to play, a C, a G, whatever, rhythm tells them when to play it. It's the difference between just having a list of ingredients and actually having the recipe that turns them into a meal.
Honestly, without rhythm, music as we know it just wouldn't exist. It would be a total mess, just a random jumble of sounds. There'd be no structure, no momentum, and definitely nothing you could tap your foot to. Just pure chaos.
So how do we get from that chaos to actual music? Well, we start with the most fundamental, most human part of rhythm, the beat. Let's see how this works.
The beat is that steady, constant pulse that lives underneath almost all music. And really, the best way to think about it is like a heartbeat. It's regular, it's foundational, and it's what gives the music life.
Okay, enough talk. Let's actually feel it. Get your hands ready. Right now, join in with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Clap, 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 clap. Feel that? That steady pulse you're making? That's it. That's the beat. Simple, right?
Now, the speed we were just clapping at, that has a name. It's called the tempo. It's just a fancy word for how fast or how slow that pulse is going. And we measure it in something called beats per minute, or BPM for short.
And tempo is all about the mood. If you have a tempo around 60 BPM, things feel calm, relaxed, like a slow ballad. You crank that up to 120 BPM, and suddenly you're in perfect pop and dance music territory. And if you push it past 160, you've got that fast, high-energy music that just makes you want to move.
Okay, so we've got this steady pulse. But our brains don't just hear an endless, boring stream of beats. We automatically start grouping them into little packets. And that brings us to the music's blueprint. And this organization is called meter. It's just the way music takes that long stream of beats and sorts it into small repeating cycles that we can predict. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do musicians write this blueprint down? Well, they use a kind of code called a time signature. And this little fraction you see here, 4/4, is probably the most common, most famous piece of musical code on the entire planet.
And don't worry, reading it is super simple. The top number just tells you how many beats are in each one of those little groups or bars. The bottom number tells you what kind of note gets one beat. For now, just focus on that top number. 4/4 time means there are 4 beats in every single group. That's it.
Now, this is where it gets really cool because different time signatures create completely different feelings in your body. 4/4 has that straight marching feel. It's the engine for pop, rock, you name it. 3/4 feels circular, kind of like you're swaying. Think of a waltz. And 6/8 has this awesome rolling, flowing feel you hear in a lot of big ballads and folk music.
But a blueprint by itself doesn't make music feel good, right? To get to the real vibe, the groove, we need to add a little bit of spice. We need to talk about emphasis.
Because here's a crucial secret. Within those groups of beats we just talked about, some beats are naturally stronger than others. They just carry more weight.
Let's go back to our old friend, 4/4 time. The classic pattern is strong, weak, medium, weak. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That heavy emphasis on the 1 and that little push on the 3 is what drives the music forward. It's what makes you nod your head. And now for the real secret ingredient, the spice that makes rhythm so exciting. It's called syncopation. This is when musicians mess with our expectations. Instead of always hitting those strong main beats, they start emphasizing the notes in between the beats, the off beats. It's what makes a rhythm dance around the beat instead of just stomping right on it. And really, that's what it's all about. Syncopation is the funk. It's the soul. It's that little off-kilter push and pull in a rhythm that catches your ear, surprises you, and physically makes you want to move. It is the absolute heart of groove.
Okay, so we've got the pulse, the speed, the blueprint, and the spice. You now have the complete toolkit to understand how musical time works. So let's put it all into practice.
So just to recap real quick, the beat is the steady pulse. The tempo is the speed of that pulse.
The time signature is how that pulse gets grouped together. And rhythm? That's the whole shebang, the overall pattern that all of these things create together.
So here is your mission. The next time you listen to your favorite song, I want you to become a rhythm detective. First, just tap your foot. Find that steady beat. Then listen a little closer. Try to feel the groups. Does it have that straight marching feel? Or is it more of a swaying waltz? Or maybe it's got that rolling feel. You can totally do this.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. This stuff, it isn't just about music. Rhythm is everywhere. It's in the sound of your footsteps when you walk, the clicking of a turn signal, the dripping of a faucet. Once you start listening for it, you'll realize the entire world has a pulse. The only question left is, what rhythm is it moving to?